Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Kyle Henderson along with Andrew Bone. Another commitment in for the Crimson Tide. This time it's Kaine Williams that is committed to the Alabama Crimson Tide along with Andrew Bone to break it all down as we always do. Bone, what does it mean for the Alabama Crimson Tide getting Kaine Williams in? He's commitment number 5.
Commitment number 5. That's what it means. I mean, it finally, I think Alabama fans can get used to this, getting a commitment every single week. I mean, we weren't really seeing a lot of commitments happening, and now we're back-to-back weeks where we've seen commitments happen. Not back-to-back days like some programs like Tennessee, but Alabama back-to-back weeks getting a big-time commitment. Last week getting Ja'Cory Brooks, this week Kaine Williams, one of the top safeties in the country out of Louisiana, Marrero, Louisiana, just outside of New Orleans. It's a big commitment for him, for Alabama. Big get for Pete Golding, the Alabama defense coordinator, recruit state of Louisiana, has done a really good job over the course of the last few years recruiting that area, and this year going down there and getting a big commitment in Kaine Williams, 6'2", 210 pounds. I know his profile page says 6'2", 190. I think maybe that weight was put in there a couple years ago, but I know he ended up at Alabama's junior day earlier this year, and they measured him at about 6'2", 210 pounds. So a bigger guy. Was kind of thinking maybe he grows into an outside linebacker at that size, but he's extremely athletic. He's got great coverage skills. Had a great junior season, 50 tackles. I think he had about 10 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. Just a really good overall year for Kaine Williams. So, would not be surprised if he sticks at safety. Bigger safety than what we kind of, we used to see all these big safeties. We used to see these, 215, 220-pound safeties. Now a lot of these safeties are, the Eddie Jacksons, the Minka Fitzpatrick sizes. But I think that he's got a chance to really be a great player at the college level. And, we'll see how much he develops over the course of the next few years. Does he grow into being 225 pounds? Does he lose a little bit of weight? Maybe he gets down to 200 pounds. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. But overall, outstanding athlete, very good player, and I think Alabama is extremely excited to have him on board today.
I wanted to talk to you about this, Bone. I mean, getting Kaine Williams out of the state of Louisiana, obviously a big pipeline for the Crimson Tide, so much talent in Louisiana. Talk about, the pipeline to Louisiana, and as you mentioned earlier, Pete Golding picking up Kaine Williams, kind of tying Pete Golding's recruiting effort along with the importance of landing another prospect out of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, I think Alabama's landed at least one player from Louisiana every year that Nick Saban's been in Tuscaloosa. There may have been one year where they didn't, but pretty much every other year they've signed at least one player from the state of Louisiana. That, we've seen so many top players from there that have signed with Alabama. Eddie Lacy, Landon Collins, Cam Robinson, Hootie Jones, Cam Sims, obviously coming back for his senior season, Dylan Moses. There's a lot of really good talent in the state of Louisiana. Nick Saban knows that. Nick Saban recruited, that state for a long time when he was the head coach at LSU. And, it was one of the first states that he hit when he became the head coach of the Crimson Tide. And, that coaching staff did a great job. Over the course of the last few years, we knew that guys like Burton Burns and Billy Napier really, hit that state hard over the course of, the last several years. And now Pete Golding came in and has really done a good job of, kind of recruiting that area. Didn't really land anybody in last year's class, but this year, this is a big year for them recruiting Louisiana. There's a lot of guys that are in that state that Alabama would love to add, and they got a big one today in Kaine Williams.
When we talk about Kaine Williams, who is now the 5th commitment to the Crimson Tide, it's a good addition to the secondary, or as you said, he could move to outside linebacker depending on what type of player that he revolves into. You've talked about the importance of the secondary position for the Crimson Tide. You have a great article on BamaInsider.com. Can you just talk about a couple more guys in that secondary group that we should all keep our eyes on as we move into the summer months at Alabama, is certainly, remains key targets for the Crimson Tide?
Yeah, well, in the secondary this year, I think the biggest position of need is going to be cornerback, and they don't have any corners committed just yet. Several guys that are out there, they're heavily recruiting. We talked about, if you want to go to BamaInsider.com, check out the entire list. It's not just, 4 or 5 guys. We've got, I think, 14 guys on there right now that we talked about in terms of top secondary players. That Jason Marshall, the big-time cornerback out of Florida. You also got players like Terrion Arnold, who's also out of Florida, JaQuincy McKinstry, another kid out of Louisiana, Jordan Gilbert, another guy that they're heavily recruiting. So, as of right now, I think they're probably going to try to sign at least, in my opinion, 3 cornerbacks, probably trying to sign at least 2 safeties. So probably going to see either 5, maybe even 6 overall defensive backs in this year's recruiting class.
All right. Now, as we kind of wrap up on Kaine Williams, I always like to talk about who it came down to. Was Williams always an Alabama lean? Kind of talk about who it came down to when we look at the recruitment of Kaine Williams before he decided to commit to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Well, he had a top 3: Alabama, Texas A&M, and also LSU. Now there's some stories out there that LSU wasn't really pressing hard for him. I don't know if that's the case or not, but works out in Alabama's favor. Alabama's a top program as well. I would not second guess Nick Saban's recruiting ability, his evaluation ability. If he wants somebody, even if maybe a school in that state isn't heavily recruiting him or had a committable offer for him, it doesn't really matter. You look at last year's recruiting class with guys like Brian Branch, William Anderson, 2 guys from the state of Georgia who were not heavily recruited by the University of Georgia at all. They got recruited by Georgia down the road after they committed to Alabama, and they were trying to flip those guys, but those 2 guys stayed pretty. And Javon Baker, he was another Georgia kid that they got offered after he committed to Alabama. So wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing LSU coming after Kaine Williams a little bit more after he commits to Alabama. After he is committed to Alabama, I'm sure they're going to continue to evaluate him. I think probably a lot of schools wanted to see him in camp this summer just to kind of see what he's going to be at the next level, because he has gained a little bit of weight. He's 6'2", 210 pounds, and everybody kind of was recruiting him as a safety. So maybe Alabama and LSU wanted to see him a little bit more, but Alabama thinks he's good enough to go ahead and take his commitment. And obviously there's no camps going on this summer, so you can't really evaluate him in camp. And I think Alabama made a good move by going ahead and pressing for him and getting him on board.
Kaine Williams on board, number 5, commitment to this class of 2021. For more recruiting coverage, go to BamaInsider.com. Tons of coverage right now on Kaine Williams, who is the newest addition to the Crimson Tide. Sign up for a free trial to BamaInsider.com. Promo code is simply Roll Tide. Follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the same. For Andrew Bowe and Kyle Henderson, we'll catch you soon back at BamaInsider.com.